you very much for that, Sir Chris, for the introduction. Again, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Moodle Philippines 2022 Pre-Congress Proper. So for the first workshop of today's session, we will talk about what Moodle Workplace is and its key features. So we hope everyone will enjoy and learn something about the Moodle Workplace. So let's now start the workshop. First, allow me to share my screen with you. All right, so can you see my screen now? Can everyone see my screen?
Yes,
Ms. Laurie, we can see your screen.
All right, thank you so much. So this is the course that contains everything that we will talk about today. So we have here an introduce yourself forum, the learning outcomes, the course presentation, some video tutorials for Moodle Workplace major functionalities, an open discussion forum, and feedback. So you all have access to this course, so feel free to visit the course. You may also start to introduce yourself in the forum or post your questions in the open discussion forum. So now let's proceed to the presentation. Presentation about the introduction to Moodle Workplace. Okay, so the objectives of this topic are, at the end of this presentation, participants should be able to identify and enumerate the launcher capabilities such as programs, certificates, users or tenants, appearance, organization structure, dynamic rules, and report builder. And the second objective is to adapt the software to your company structure, defining roles and hierarchies that automatically create reporting lines. So what is Moodle Workplace? How does it work? And what is the difference from the Moodle LMS core? So the Moodle Workplace is the LMS that Moodle developed to respond to the specific needs of the corporate sector. It is a combination of Moodle LMS core with extra added functionalities that are focused on creating and delivering training and onboarding processes. The Moodle Workplace is only available via Moodle Partner Network. It is not open source and is under dual licensing, which means that it is built on the Moodle open source LMS, but can only be accessed via the premium partners. So it is not possible to download the Moodle Workplace without the support of a premium partner. So just to let everyone know, our company, the PhiloWeb Technology, is now a certified Moodle premium partner. We now offer the support and hosting services of Moodle Workplace. Now for the navigation in Moodle Workplace. So it contains a dashboard with up to 3 tabs. So on the dashboard page of a user, there are 3 tabs: Teams, Learning, and more. First is the Teams tab, which is available to the manager's roles. This tab shows all the staff in the department, all with the positions which the manager has management rights over. So each learner's or employees or client's card can be expanded to view their details, including all the active jobs and ongoing programs, and certifications. So the view can be customized using the report builder. The manager can also send messages to these people. They can view their profiles and see a warning sign if any programs or certifications are overdue. Second is the learning tab. So which shows a combined view of the learner's courses, programs, and certification. It is only place where learners can view the programs they are allocated to. Third is the More tab, which is customizable. It is shown if any blocks have been added to it. It is regularly used as a replacement for the manager and or learner dashboard using the My Teams block and the My Learning block. So it is identical again to the one in standard Moodle. If a user has permission to change the layout of the dashboard via the Add a block option in the side drawer, the selection of the blocks, the individual configuration options, and the placement options can be modified. Okay, so we are now in the exciting part of this presentation. So for this part, we will briefly discuss with you the major functionalities of Moodle Workplace. So Moodle Workplace has extra functionalities that are built in on top of the Moodle core, addressing the primary needs of the workplace sector, which are to build your learning and compliance programs, manage centrally and delegate with ease, mirror your own organization structure, build and manage your own reports, personalize your LMS with your own branding, automate your internal workflows, and also to enhance the blended learning experience. Okay, so the first four key features of Moodle Workplace will be discussed by Ms. Ricangela Sakdalan. Thank you very much.
Hello po, good morning. So let me share my screen first. All right, so I hope you can see my screen. So thank you so much, Miss Dory, for that presentation. So next topic is about major functionalities in Moodle. So major functionalities in Moodle Workplace includes the programs. So the programs, also known as learning paths, establish training paths for your employees, grouping courses, and content into programs. So this image shows the conceptual view of programs. So the programs are the entities that contain a list of courses and require learners to complete all or some of these courses to complete um, a program. So let me show you the Nifila Web Workplace. So this is called the launcher. So the launcher shows you the major functionalities of Moodle Workplace. Let me just click the programs here. I have two examples of program, the LMS team and the Nifila Web program. So each program is associated with a certification which must be completed to allow the user to become certified. So here in the LMS team program, so within a program, you can add a set of courses and course. So this is an example of a course, Moodle Workplace for end user, which is a standalone course. And this is an example of a set set course. So inside the set A program, I have two sample courses, and then the Moodle Workplace for end users and template course. And in order to complete the set A program, the learner must complete all courses. So the available completion criteria for programs are from the drop down, they're all in order, which means the learner must complete all courses in a specific order, all in on all in any order, which means the learners must complete all courses in any order, or last option is at least. So you must specify the number of courses. The learners must complete at least the specified number of courses in any order. So at the bottom of the page, the main completion criteria um, allows you to set the main completion of the program. So in simple terms, the programs allows you to establish learning pathways for your employees by adding a combination of courses or a hierarchy, a sequence of courses that are typically used for the onboarding of new employees. Now, for the next functionalities is the certification, or also known as compliance training. Create recurring certifications based on programs with a defined validity period that need to be retaken, and keep your employee certification up to date. So this image shows the active uh, certifications, and for each certification, you see the certification name, any given tags, and the program name. And to the right of each certification, you will see the usual workplace icons where you can edit the details, duplicate, view users, report, and archive. So you can also filter the list of active certifications by certification name and the program name. So let me show you the certification programs here. So I have here po, a certification, and each certification po again is associated with a program which must be completed to allow the user to become certified. So the certification consists of a single program or recurring programs. And in this example, the program name is the LMS tip. So the certification tab. So let me just click the certification for LMS team. The certification tab allows you to select the program and the certification dates, the start date, due date, and the expiry date. And the recertification tab, or the renewal of the initial certification known as recertification. So you can either use as the same program or another program. Users can be certified for a given period, after which the certification can be retaken or updated. So to see a report of users' progress through a certification, you may click this users tab. So this page po lists all users who are currently allocated to the certification, and since this is a new po, so nothing is displayed. So but I have here po an example image from the Moodle.org. An image sample po of the certification status plus their status in the associated program. So yung certification status natin, or the user's progress in the certification. Certification status open, meaning the user has not completed the certification yet, and the due date has not been reached. Certified, the user has successfully completed the certification. Overdue, the user is running late in completing the certification. Expired, the certification expiry date has been passed. That is, the certification has expired. Future allocation, this means po that the user start date is set in the future. Last status is suspended. So this is not related to a user's account suspension. This means po that the user certification allocation has been suspended. So next, available tabs is the dynamic rules. So the dynamic rule tabs gives quick access to some rules which affect the certification and are created by default. Dynamic rule allows certification to be configured both in condition and actions. So certification dynamic rules only apply to that particular certification. So this allows the site administrator to do things like sending a notification to the user when they allocate to the certificate, issuing a certificate or a badge, or allocating to another program certification, or sending a reminder when the certification is overdue. So set action for this predefined rules and click the toggle button to activate them. So to summarize, again, the certification or each certification is associated with a program which must be completed for the user to become certified. A typical use case would be compliance training with a defined validity period that needs to be retaken to keep your employee certification up to date. So I hope that is clear po. And the next feature is um, all right. So the next features is about organization and structure. Adapt the software to your company structure, defining roles and hierarchies that automatically create reporting lines, assign management rights and security permission um, to each role. So the organization is structure. So the administrator will click the organization structure. Um, the organization structure is a combination of three workplace feature, the department's position, and the job assignment. So we can use department and position hierarchies to define any organizational structure and define all reporting lines, assigning jobs to employees in any department with any position. So from the organization structure, the administrator click the department tab and then the plus to create a new department framework. So you need to supply the name, ID number, description is optional. So in this example, I have two sample departments, the IT department and the Nifila Web department. So, and in the IT department, there is two sub-departments, the SIS team and the LMS team. So after creating a department, next is from the position tab. So you can click the plus to create a position in the department. Again, you need to supply the name, ID number, description is optional. I have here, um, in this example po, on the IT department, we have Chief Technology Officer, followed by IT Supervisor, followed by the LMS Team Lead. So in the Sales and Marketing Department, and we have Business Development Officer, followed by Account Manager, and followed by Sales and Marketing Staff. And in each position, you will assign a permission. So it can be a manager position or a department lead position. So to assign permission, simply click the enable box here, the permissions area. Simply click the manager or department lead permission. So a manager permission is considered a manager of anyone in a lower position regardless of their departments. While in the department lead is considered a manager of anyone in the same department or a sub-department regardless of their position. So once satisfied with the department position and the permissions, and you may now preview it in the job assignment tab. So as you can see, in this example, Ira Coronado from Department LMS team, her position po is LMS team lead and her permission is department lead. All right, so to summarize, the organization structure is a combination of three workplace features: department, position, and jobs. So we can use department and position hierarchy to define any organizational structure and define all reporting lines, assigning jobs to employees in any department with any position. So is um, next features is multi-tenancy. Multi-tenancy architecture allows you to give each of your uh, division, department, or franchise their own full LMS platform with custom permission, so you can delegate the LMS management to the people. Uh, So this image shows the active tenants. So each tenants, they have their own tenant name, user, category, and then they have their own login URL. So Moodle Workplace allows the main administrator to create multiple tenants and allocate users to each of them. So tenant users po will all be using the same site but will not see each other. So each tenant can have their site name po, logo, and the color scheme. So I have here an example of active tenants. And then again, for each tenant, they have their own name, users, category, and um, login URL. So additionally, clicking the tenant allows you to preview the um, the users list of this particular tenant um, and assign roles to them. So you can assign a manager, a course creator, certification manager that allows to create and manage certification, dynamic roles manager, organization structure manager, program manager, a report builder, and so on. So aside from that, uh, the authentication tab, and if enable the email-based self-registration or the manual accounts. And then the branding um, includes the header logo, login logo, tenant selector logo, login background image, favicon, links, navigation bar, and many more details to apply the company branding. You can also configure the dashboard here, and the details tab shows the details of the particular tenant. So at the top of the page, so this is an example po of an active tenant, the LMS team. Upon clicking the LMS team, you will see it po that the branding or theme is applied. So to summarize, the multi-tenancy architecture allows you to give each of your divisions, departments, or franchise their own full LMS platform with custom permission. So now to discuss the next feature, so I will now give the floor to Miss Lori Gallo.
All right, so thank you so much, Ms. Rika. So we are down to the last three key features of Moodle Workplace. And now we have the dynamic rules. So what is dynamic rules feature? So dynamic rules allows you to define and execute centralized and automated rules using an if this then that conditional approach to trigger actions when certain conditions are met. So each workplace plugin implements its own conditions and actions to be used in any dynamic rule. So other workplace features use dynamic rules to automate some of their actions like issuing badges or certificates or granting competencies. So a rule compromises a rule header and a rule body. The rule header contains information about the rule, while the rule body contains two parts. So we have conditions and actions. So each condition clause compromises a single condition or multiple conditions, where all conditions are connected via AND operations. That is all conditions must be met for conditions to be ruled. So actions is a series of actions to be executed in a rule. So in the context of workplace, both conditions and actions are always applied to users. The conditions are, so let me just share with you the feature for the dynamic rules. So here on our Moodle Workplace, so we have here the active rules. So here you access the dynamic rules feature. So conditions are matched against all tenant users. So whereas actions are applied to a subset of all users, namely those that satisfy the conditions. Dynamic rules always belong to a tenant. It is not possible to share dynamic rules across the tenants yet. So the process to create a dynamic rule, first you have to go to this page. So from the site administration settings, then dynamic rules and manage rules. Here you click the add a new rule button. Then here you have to specify the rules header that only contains two elements, the name and the rule action limits. So next step is to add one or more. So once you have added the details for the rule, you have to add one or more rules conditions. So conditions represent the if part of a dynamic rule. So you can add conditions based on certification or program-related criteria, or conditions dealing with jobs, departments, and positions. So once you have added conditions, you have to add one or more rules actions. So again, actions represents the then part of a dynamic rule. So some examples of actions are awarding of badge, issuing certificates, etc. And of course, the final step is to enable or activate the rule. So here, as you can see here on the screen, we have two active rules. We have here enrolling to a program and user list. And here, for the table, we have the name of the rules, conditions, actions, and the date created. So for enroll to program, the condition is users who have a job in the department LMS team. And then we didn't include the sub-departments. And the date is on or after November 24, 2021. Then for the actions of this rule is to allocate users to program Nafila program, and then the program start date is on November 24, 2021 at 5:02 p.m. They created also it's on November 24, 2021. And for the second active rule that we have here is the user list. So users who have completed course, the Moodle Workplace for end users course. And action is to issue certificate to users. They created this on March 8, 2022. So here we have also some actions. You can edit or modify the details of an existing active rule. You can also duplicate and check the report of a specific rule, and also you can archive an active rule. So that will be all for the dynamic rules. So next feature for Moodle Workplace, we have the, okay, so let me just scroll here. So the next feature of Moodle Workplace is the report builder. Right, so for report builder, the Moodle Workplace provides a powerful custom reporting tool. Custom reports are built using the report builder interface, which provides advanced customization options to administrators. So the report builder is similar to the custom reports feature in the Moodle LMS core. So to create a custom report, so let me just go back here on our Moodle Workplace. So from the launcher, let me just select the report builder. All right, so to create a custom report, you have to add a new report, of course. And then you have to supply the report name and select a report source. So this is the tab for the new report. So it's required to supply the report name and choose or select a report source. So from here, so the report source defines where data for the report will come from. The available report sources are appointments, we have certification, users, allocation, and completion. We have certifications, programs, program users, allocation, and completion. We also have the report for report builder, course completion from data store, course participants, course enrollments, and the certificates issues, and users list. So from the actual report builder, so assuming that I have added or supplied the report name and selected a report source. So on the actual report builder page, you can define conditions and filters. You can set the default sorting order, and you can also configure the card view option. So from here, as you can see on the screen, we have here the existing custom reports. So here on this table, we have these columns: the report name, plugin, date created, last modified, and the modified by. So first we have the course completion hierarchy. Plugin is report builder. The date created is on June 13, 2022. Last modified is also same date, and then modified by us in PhilaWeb admin. So let me here you can view the custom report. You can also edit the content, and of course you can also delete an existing report. So let's just view this report, custom report hierarchy. Yeah, so from here, for the table, on the left side of the page, we have the data store course. So here you can add these fields on the report. You can also set conditions. You can also, again, set the default sorting order and configure the card view options. Yeah, so you can also schedule this custom report, and you can also manage or configure who are the audiences for this report, and then who are the admins that have access to this custom report. Okay. So that would be all for the report builder. So now let's move on to the last feature of Moodle Workplace, the certificates. So Moodle Workplace allows you to design engaging certificates and then award them to users in different ways. So certificates are diplomas that can be issued upon completion of activities, courses, programs, and certifications. Site-wide certificates can be created in the Moodle Workplace, and certificates may be shared among tenants. So the two main components of the certificate tool are the certificate template and issuing certificates. Certificate templates wherein you can manage and create certificate blueprints. Issuing certificates, here you can issue certificates either via the dynamic rules, manually, or using the core certificate activity. So Moodle Workplace comes with a powerful built-in certificate generator that lets you design templates so that you can issue diplomas or certificates of participation. So that concludes our presentation. Thank you everyone for listening. We hope you learned a thing or two about Moodle Workplace. So if you have any questions, feel free to post or feel free to ask in the chat box or post your questions in the open discussion forum of the course. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Ms. Laurie, for this great presentation, Ms. Rika. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to place them in the chat. If you want to speak, you are also free to do so. If you want to go ahead with your mic. I believe I saw a few people interested in speaking. I just want to do a very brief summary of what we just discussed, which are the Moodle Workplace, which is based on the same Moodle LMS that we all know. Maybe on the Moodle 4 presentation, we'll know more about the free or the open source elements of Moodle. But there are basically 5 features which our speakers mentioned. Is the hierarchies. And I think that's very interesting. We have seen that organizations, even if they're small, they are interested in having their organization reflected in their LMS for many reasons. One is they can create learning paths for development to support the careers of the people that work at the company. And that's something that the employees nowadays are more interested and requesting increasingly in any kind of organization of any scale. The multi-tenancy is actually one of the most common features that we've hear from our clients, whether they have, for example, different campuses and they want this to manage the same LMS, but to have a different look and feel for any, but being able to control everything from a central place, or organizations who have internal facing training, but they also provide training to clients or to the public. That's one, just many cases of hierarchies of multi-tenancy, I'm sorry. The dynamic rules and the report builder are really great tools for productivity because it makes it much easier to generate information about the system and to create management that can be automated. And I just want to, before I I see there's a couple of questions. Just want to clarify something that we also get, and it's how come Moodle Workplace is not fully open source? And the answer is just simply that we believe that if an organization is large enough and complex enough to use a system like Moodle Workplace, they can also support the Moodle project. So all of the additional resources that Moodle and Nephila Web receives for the Moodle Workplace is going to go directly to the development of Moodle and Moodle Workplace itself. And another way in which Workplace supports the free Moodle is by dropping some of the plugins, like for example, the certificates plugin, the functionality that was shown last, that is actually available now on the free Moodle side. And the plan is that over time, all of the functionality that's built for Workplace is going to be available in the Moodle free version. All right, so I have a question first from from Foundation U. Is Moodle Workplace a separate system in our school LMS or part of the updates embedded in our LMS? Well, it is, as we mentioned, so Moodle Workplace is built on top of the Moodle LMS, but it actually works just like one single LMS with extended functionality. I don't know if there's anything else that you would like to add, Ms. Laurie or Ms. Rika. Okay, yes, just so to be clear, it is going to look just like one single LMS, like the same LMS. And of course, the regular Moodle is different from Moodle Workplace. So you need to make sure if you are interested in Moodle Workplace for us to set it up for you. Related to that question, we have from Martina Reyes, will we be given access to Moodle Workplace? At this time, we are working on a way to provide a trial of Moodle Workplace. It is a little more complicated, to be honest, than the regular Moodle, but I believe we can, we are working on having a demo that maybe we can take advantage of the multi-tenancy feature, so we can give access to as a tenant, so you can try it out. So yes, Ms. Martina, please get in touch with us, or our marketing team will reach out to you to experience Moodle Workplace. There is a question regarding migration from Sir Jonathan. Is there any issue migrating from Moodle 3.8 to Moodle 4? I believe there is not. If the version is fairly outdated, let's say Moodle 3.4, we might have to check some the compatibility. But Moodle 4.0 is designed to be backwards compatible as much as possible. So we believe there will be no issues. And if you work with a program with us, like maybe a package of one of the full packages that Nephila Web offers, we will probably take care of any migration issues if they arise. And I believe I have time for one final question, which is from Ms. Josephine. Is there an available comparable table that shows the difference between Moodle Workplace and the Moodle LMS? I believe there is one, or we can make one available. But basically, this presentation showed these 5 features. Just to recap: the hierarchies, multi-tenancy, dynamic rules, report builder, and certificates. And these are the 5 additions that you will see on top of the regular Moodle LMS. Of course, there is another one that I think is very important, and is the theme. So when you can actually have a Moodle LMS, and if you upgrade to a Moodle Workplace, we will also install the theme. So on your existing Moodle site, you will see the Workplace theme with all of these additional features and control settings that you were able to see. Okay, so thank you so much for everyone who's been joining us. You will be receiving certificates for this session. And now we are ready to go to our next session, which is about the Moodle gradebook setup. It's a very popular subject. We get requested a lot, so I hope you enjoy this workshop. For those who are just joining now, okay, so this is just an example of the certificate of appreciation that you will be receiving for having attended this session. I want to award this certificate of appreciation to Ms. Ricangela for sharing with us all her invaluable knowledge and experience. And also a similar one will be issued to Ms. Laurie. So thank you so much. And Ms. Rica, I believe she's going to stay with us for the upcoming session, along with Ms. Aira Coronado for the next session on Moodle Gradebook setup.